Wow. Okay, so this is pretty wild, even for me, and I follow this stuff pretty closely. Ethereum, which honestly, a few years ago, I think a lot of people thought it was like science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum just blew past Bank of America in market value.
Yeah.
That is, that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it really underscores just how fast the space is changing, you know?
It does. It does. It really does.
We're seeing this major shift,
Yeah.
like a seismic shift in how, um, well, in finance, right? We're
Right.
talking about this decentralized platform, built on like shared control. And it's overtaking like one of the biggest, oldest institutions in traditional finance.
Right. Yeah. And just to, because I think some people might be listening, hearing this, and maybe they're not super deep into crypto.
Sure.
So like Ethereum, just for anyone who's hearing that and thinking, is that a new energy drink or something?
Right.
What exactly is Ethereum?
Yeah.
Like beyond just being crypto, right?
So imagine like a global computer network constantly verifying and recording transactions all the time, but without any single person or company being in charge.
Right.
That's the blockchain.
Yeah.
Ethereum is kind of like the operating system on top of that.
Okay.
So it lets developers build like applications, games, financial tools, all kinds of stuff that all run on this decentralized network.
Right.
Think of it as like the foundation for, a whole new internet, but like an internet of value exchange,
Right. Right. Okay.
not just information.
Yeah. And, obviously a big part of this leap forward has been this big upgrade they did with Ethereum 2.0.
Absolutely.
Right. This has been a major change. So for people who aren't familiar, like the technical side of it,
Right.
what's been the impact of 2.0? Like, how has it changed things?
So the biggest thing, the transition to 2.0 is really crucial, specifically because they introduced this idea of proof of stake.
Yeah.
You see, before, it was like to validate transactions, it was like this massive energy-hungry competition. Oh, okay. Now it's more like everyone working together.
Yeah. I have to admit, proof of stake is one of those things where, like, it took me a while to, like, wrap my head around it.
Sure.
Do you have any, like, analogies that you use just to, like, help listeners understand?
Yeah, for sure. Think of it like a community garden.
Okay.
Right. So instead of everyone digging with their own little shovels, you all decide to pool your money and buy a tractor, right? The more you contribute to that pool of money, the more say you have in how that garden is run.
I see, yeah.
So that's proof of stake, basically, You're putting up your own Ethereum as a kind of guarantee, and the more you stake, the more influence you have on the network on keeping it secure.
So it's more efficient.
Way more efficient.
Less energy, and all this kind of feeds into this other, the buzzword, DeFi.
Exactly.
Like decentralized finance.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that's a huge part of this whole Ethereum story.
It is. It is a huge part of it because with Ethereum 2.0, right, you get that scalability, so you can suddenly handle way more transactions.
Right.
It's like laying down the groundwork for like a whole city of DeFi applications, lending, borrowing, trading, all the stuff you do with a bank, but without, needing those traditional institutions.
And all of this happened, for the record,
Yeah.
November 8th.
November 8th, that's right.
We had the data from Blockbeat's news citing infinite market cap.
Exactly.
So mark your calendars, folks.
That might be a big one for the history books. Who knows?
So we have this platform, right? It's now worth more than, Bank of America.
Crazy. Yeah.
An institution that's like everywhere in traditional finance. I mean, does this signal like a change in how the big players, how they need to think about things?
I think it's definitely like a wake-up call, right? Banks have these advantages, established systems, customer trust, all that. But Ethereum, DeFi, they're offering something that I think is more appealing to a lot of people: transparency, accessibility, and, control over your own money.
Right.
I think this forces the old guard to innovate, Either they adapt to this new landscape or they risk becoming, well, obsolete.
Right. And it's all part of this bigger picture.
Yeah.
Web3, right? This idea of a decentralized internet.
Exactly.
But I think for a lot of people, it's still kind of fuzzy,
It's a big idea.
Yeah, like what does that actually look like?
Okay, so imagine instead of your data being controlled by these massive corporations, you actually own and control it yourself.
Oh, okay.
That's the promise of Web3.
Okay.
Powered by this blockchain technology, So it's a future where users are empowered, online experiences are way more personalized and secure, and, value can flow more freely without these gatekeepers taking a cut at every step.
Right. And I was reading Ethereum's market cap. It even surpassed Netflix now.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knows Netflix, right? I mean, Does this milestone, do you think this is finally making people realize that, hey, this Web3 thing, this might be the future?
Well, it's certainly a strong signal that people are starting to take notice, right?
Yeah.
When you have a decentralized platform, climbing higher than these household names in terms of value, it definitely sparks curiosity.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes people think, maybe I should see what this is all about.
Yeah, yeah. And what about the big institutions, the more traditional players?
Yeah.
Are we seeing more of them, like, dipping their toes into the crypto waters?
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing a huge increase in institutional interest
Okay.
in crypto and blockchain as a whole. And this involvement, I think it'll probably lead to clearer regulations,
Okay.
which could really pave the way for even wider adoption.
So this is moving so fast, it's almost hard to keep up.
It is. It's exciting, though.
It is. And, it's not just Ethereum in the race, right?
That's right.
There's Solana, there's
A
Cardano,
lot of players out there.
right? So many. Um, how do you see, this kind of feels like the early days of the internet, right? All these companies trying to figure out, okay, what's this new technology? How can we use it?
I think that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And just like the internet transformed how we share information, communicate, I think blockchain has that same potential, that power to revolutionize how we think about value, how we interact online. It's really huge.
And this whole thing with Ethereum surpassing Bank of America, it almost feels like an echo of what happened when Bitcoin first started,
Oh, yeah.
grabbing headlines, right? Like, oh, wow, this is a thing.
That was a huge moment, and I think this is another one of those moments.
Yeah, for sure. So where do you think this is all headed? Big picture. What's your takeaway from all of this?
Well, even if you're not investing in crypto right now, this is a sign. Decentralized technologies, they are changing the world. It's not just about finance, right?
Yeah.
It's about shifting power structures. It's about new forms of creativity and potentially like a more equitable digital future. So, pay attention.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It feels like we're like on the edge of something completely new,
Absolutely.
from surpassing financial giants to, climbing higher than these entertainment giants.
It's pretty remarkable.
It is. Ethereum's story really shows how big this could get. DeFi, Web3, this could be a much bigger part of our lives than a lot of people realize.
I think so too.
For everyone listening, if you're intrigued, we'll have some resources in the show notes so you can dive in, learn more about Ethereum, DeFi, the world of Web3. It's an exciting space.
It is.
Keep your eyes on this space, folks. This is just the beginning.
It
It's
is.
only getting started.
That's for sure.